So this is the Dell Streak, one of the first smartphones from Dell in Singapore, and this is an Android 2.2 device, and it's 5 inches. So it's a smartphone. It can do phone calls and all the things that you will be able to do on a normal smartphone. And at the same time, it's also considered a tablet because of its size. So this is 5 inches, and to give you kind of a comparison, so this is kind of my hands, and this is it can cover my entire palm. And for another comparison of a device that you might probably have, this is an iPhone 3GS. You can see it's bigger than iPhone 3GS. And here you have a BlackBerry Bold. This is the BlackBerry Bold 9780, and you can see that it's almost double the size of a standard BlackBerry. So that is that's how big this device is. So it's small enough to fit in your jeans pockets. I've done that. I put that in my jeans pocket. But the problem is that with this phone in your pocket, you can't really sit down comfortably. So I still find it a little bit too big to carry around with you comfortably. You have to take it out, put it on the desk when you sit down, because it's 5 inches. And despite the fact that it's 5 inches, the display is still the normal 800 by 480 pixels resolution. But nevertheless, it's quite a sharp display. Even though the resolution is you're not getting a significantly higher resolution. So for the sake of comparison, we can the iPhone 4 has a 960 by 480 pixels display, even though it's only 3.5 inches. So in terms of the density of the pixels on the display, it's not as high, but it doesn't really matter because you can take a look at the screen. Really is very nice to look at. Alright, and another thing about the display, while we're at it, this is actually a Gorilla Glass. So the Gorilla Glass is basically almost, they claim it an indestructible display, because it is the material that is the glass on top of it is the same material that is being used to laminate helicopter windshields, which needs to be really strong. So just to show you, I got a key and then I could just rub it on the screen and you won't be able to see any scratches on it. So that is very cool in my opinion. So let's talk about the other parts of the hardware itself. You have touch-sensitive controls over here. These are your standard Android phones, and I think you can already tell. And most standard Android phones you expect to hold it this way, which you can with this phone. But the thing is that the icons are actually kind of rotated sideways because they expect you to hold it this way, right? So you got the home button, the contextual menu button, as well as the back button, and these three buttons are standard in almost any Android phone around. So so it's no surprise that they're here. And over on the side, you have a front-facing camera for 3G calls or any application that's capable of using it. All right, you have the speaker over here. On the top, you have, let's see, try and get it to focus. You have the volume controls on this side, and then you have the power switch as well as the camera shutter button. All right, so this is one thing that I find a little bit annoying. The power switch is kind of, if you take a look, hopefully I can get it to focus. It's kind of flushed into the device itself. It's kind of hard to get it to focus, but it's kind of flushed downwards. So the problem is that it's not as easy to press compared to the camera shutter, which is, you can see right here, it's kind of popping out. And this device, with it off, unlike say an iPhone for example, where you can hit the home button to get the display to turn on, since these are touch sensitive buttons, there's nothing you can do to turn on the display except, not even the volume controls you can see right here, or the camera button. The only thing you can do is you need to search for this small home button. After a while you get used to it, but for the first few times, you're going to have some trouble finding this particular button. And another thing that's kind of, I find it a little bit annoying is that the fact that the headphone jack is on the side. Now, granted, the device is supposed to be held this way, so that this would actually be considered the top of the device, but most of the time when it's in your pocket, it slides in sideways. So having the headphone jack on the side makes it makes the headphones have to kind of jut out at the side. In fact, this is the case that comes with the Dell Streak, and I find it a little surprising that it comes with a case that you put in this way. Right? It's a nice case. I like it. It cleans it helps to clean the display as well. But the problem is with the device inside, as you can see, there's no way you can connect the headphones onto the device with it inside the pouch. So you either have to leave it out halfway, or you gotta stop using the pouch. And considering that it's a Gorilla Glass display, that might not necessarily be that bad of an idea. Okay, the bottom side of the device, you have a 30-pin proprietary connector. Alright, and it's not that good an idea, right? Most Android devices have used micro USB connectors, but this one comes and requires you to carry this cable around, though it's got a very nice cable organizer, but you got to carry this proprietary 30-pin connector. And what I would have really loved to see, especially since this is such a huge device, is that if you actually put a micro USB port at the side, so that you can actually charge it with a standard micro USB connector without having to bring this particular cable along. Now, the advantage of having a 30-pin connector like this is that you can actually use its accessories. It comes with it doesn't come with it, but you can purchase a speaker dock. Alright, so you hook it up and then you have very nice speakers that you can put on the desk. Alright, so that's the advantage of having a dock connector. But I would still have preferred, and I think a lot of you might probably prefer it if it was a micro USB instead. Okay, you got a microphone on this side. And let's take a look at the back. Okay, you got a very nice Dell logo. I'm very fortunate that Dell sends me the red version, because the red one really looks very nice. It's got this very nice glossy texture on the casing. If you get a black one, the casing is matte. Alright, so over here you have a front-facing camera, not front-facing, sorry, this is the back camera at the back. It's a 5-megapixel autofocus camera with dual LED flash, so which is very nice. And the coolest thing, as always with a device of this size, and you will notice this on the Galaxy Tab as well, is that you just turn on the camera, and you can see that it's a huge camera. I mean, not that it's a huge camera, but because of the huge display, you know, it's just, taking pictures with this thing is just kind of fun, all right? And so autofocus, macro, and so on and so forth. So that is the hardware of the device. All right, internally it comes with a 1 GHz Snapdragon processor, means that it should be pretty snappy, but I still have experienced a little bit of sluggishness after using it for a few weeks. So, you know, I think it's a little bit of an Android issue. And now let's talk about the software, since we're talking about Android. Like I mentioned earlier, this is running on Android 2.2, so you get some of the cool stuff from Android 2.2 and 2.1. For example, tethering. You can actually create your own Wi-Fi hotspot, or you can tether by USB or Bluetooth, and that is a Android 2.2 feature that is fortunately inside here. And the other feature from Android 2.2 would be its brand new Google Maps 5.0, which allows you to look at the maps in 3D, which is kind of fun as well. For most of it, it's a stock Android 2.2. They've only, as far as I've seen, they've only done two things, you know, to differentiate itself. One of them is this. These are what they call it the Dell Stage widgets. All right, so they are custom widgets. You know, really big widgets that bring quite a good functionality. So like this one, this is the recent apps widget, which gives you the weather as well as the last few applications that you use. Alright, most of the time you will leave it in the middle widget. Okay, and then you have the contacts, which are the last few people you've contacted over the phone, SMS, as well as email. Alright, this is not a Dell widget. This is the standard widget that comes with every Android device, that gives you the ability to turn on and off, you know, GPS, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth. All right. You have here a social widget, they call it, and you know, you can use it for Facebook or Twitter. All right. And then you have the music widget, which unfortunately, because this is almost a stock Android, there's no custom, better improved music player, unlike what HTC and Samsung had done. So it comes with the stock music player. If I actually hit a music, it will launch the stock music player, which I'm not too fond of myself. Alright, and yeah, so these are the Dell widgets. You can still use the normal widgets, as you can tell. It doesn't come with a widget to help you control the device, but thankfully Android comes with it. The second thing they've done is that they've replaced the application launcher. Alright, so instead of most Android application launchers list where you scroll up and down. Alright, on the Dell Streak, you just slide upwards and you have this, and you can navigate your applications from the left to the right. Right, that's something that the Samsung did with TouchWiz as well on their Android phones. Unfortunately, unlike the TouchWiz on the Samsung Galaxy S, you cannot rearrange the icons on the application launcher. Everything here is arranged in alphabetical order. So the more applications that you have, in this case, if you took a look, I've downloaded a bunch of extra applications. You will not be able to get the messaging application without scrolling to the second page. And there is no way for you to jump between pages as well, unlike on the Galaxy S. So that is a little thing that I wish they improved, but I like it that it's from the left to right, because then you can remember, okay, the messaging application is on page 2, the second icon from the top. All right, so you can remember that, unlike which you can't do with that top scrolling, ever scrolling application launcher. And you just touch this, and you get back to the home screen. So these are the two only things they've done to customize the Dell Streak. There are some, of course, additional applications that comes with it. You have some Dell video applications. Comes with Copilot Live, trial version of a GPS software. All right, and then Quick Office as well to view documents. And one of the things that they've been promoting with this particular device is the fact that because of its 5-inch display, editing things like spreadsheets and all that will be quite comfortable compared to, say, a smaller device with a 3.5-inch display. The other thing which you will be very fond of is the keyboard. This actually comes with swipe. So you swipe, what basically swipe is that, for example, I can say, and I just swipe my fingers across it. The quick brown fox, for example, all right? So you can, if you get used to this, you can actually type pretty fast, just swiping your fingers across the screen, all right? And you can still type normally, of course, all right? But personally, I'm not used to the swipe keyboard. I prefer tapping. I tap faster than I swipe, so that's up to you. But I know a lot of you are fans of the swipe keyboard, and it goes sideways as well. So the keys are kind of big, so which is good. It makes it kind of easier to type. So you can still switch it back to the normal Android keyboard, which is built into it. And as you can see, the device rotates in almost all the directions. So you can see it's going to rotate sideways. There's a little bit of a delay, especially if and it goes backwards as well, as you can see. Especially if you are on the home screen, you can actually, I think you've already seen it. It has to reload the widgets every time you rotate it. So that is the Dell Streak, one of the first few Android devices by Dell. And for one of the first few Android devices that they've launched, I think they've done a pretty good job. They didn't do anything that makes me feel angry about the device. They didn't do much. They didn't do anything wrong. But there certainly is a lot more features that they can add in and a lot more customization that they can do with Android. Fortunately, this being an Android device, this means that any of its flaws, or rather any of the things that it lacks, can be solved by purchasing or downloading the correct applications from the Android marketplace. So that's the Dell Streak. It's already on sale today in Singapore with StarHub. And if you want to check out more videos and gadgets like the one that you just saw, visit our website www.tech65.org for more podcasts and more tech. I'll see you guys very soon. Goodbye.